So, this is a very random video today, but I think that it's incredibly interesting and probably important that I share this with you, and I just wanted to get your take on it as well, really, because I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to just ask you guys whether this is something that you've ever A, thought about, B, been told about, or C, just practice it as it is. So, I'm going to play a video that we're going to watch together. It's only a 3-minute video. And this video is what got recommended to me earlier. And the title stood out to me, much like maybe the title may have stood out to you here. And throughout the video, I just agreed with it completely. So I wanted to get your take on it, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. But in order to do that, we need to watch the video, right? So we are going to come over. And this video is a 3-minute video, well, 2 minutes and 44 seconds, and I'm going to link it down below. But again, I think it's incredibly important to hear, and we'll go over it.
There's a study actually done. New York City, they put up cameras years ago, and they started recording people walking in New York City. Then they took the footage, and they played it to convicted felons in prison, and they said to them, who would you pick as prey? They all picked the same people to prey on.
So, you may also be answering this because I did whilst watching. And if you said the same thing as me, you'll be correct. But if you have no idea, then this is why I think it's quite important.
All the same people, just by walk. There were 3 types of walk they found out. One walk was, I'm walking, I'm sloppy, I'm not paying attention, I'm just like in my own space. I have really no deliberate purpose in the way I'm moving my body. Target. Easy prey. Other easy prey. My walk is small. I'm more timid. I'm kind of like not comfortable. I'm like paying attention. Easy prey. Those 2, bar none, were picked. You know who they didn't pick? The walk wasn't too sloppy big. It wasn't too small. It was right in the middle. And it's deliberate. I'm in control of my body. I'm looking around. I'm present. I own my space. That person I want nothing to do with. Those group of people were not picked to be targets. So we exude vibes, energy, all that stuff. But even this tool that we don't pay attention to, our body.
So we'll stop it there. She's absolutely right. We do exude these energy, these vibes, and we do it subconsciously as well. So just quickly going back to what she said before about being timid and walking like this. I've seen people walk like this on the high street, and I know there could be things going on in their lives, and obviously we don't know that person, but even me as somebody that isn't a convict, that isn't going to target somebody, I can quite clearly see the people that would be easy prey, and a lot of them do exude this behaviour without even knowing, and it's very interesting.
Think about how you use it to portray yourself when you're out there. Am I commanding myself, or am I just not paying attention at all?
I was wondering as you said that, I was thinking, can you fake it? Because presumably how we walk is quite a subconscious thing, and it comes from, as you said, like the things we've been through in our life and who we've come to believe that we are.
Exactly.
So after I heard that, do I just go out on the street and start walking with a bit more status and with my shoulders back? Or am I still going to fail at some point?
Coming
I don't
back to
believe in
you.
fake it till you make it. And I actually don't like that term. You know why? There's nothing fake about me. Or you. I don't need to be a fake version of myself. But what I can be is a more aware version of myself. And so
That, I could not put it any better. More aware.
something as simple as just doing one thing, Stephen, just that one thing is like, you know what? I'm just not going to make myself small. When I walk, I'm going to take up space. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not there to solve like a whole puzzle about why I am the way I am and why psychologically I walk this way. But I'm going to do one small thing that's going to make one small difference. And it's going to lessen slightly whether somebody decides to prey on me or not. That's it.
How interesting is that? And I will link the video. And what I wanted to talk about really was the fact that I was actually told from a very young age by my mum. And she told me, Katie, when you're walking and you're on your own, you make sure you stand up, you make sure you push your shoulders back, you make sure you are looking and you are confident whilst you're walking. She gave me this advice all the way back in the early 90s. And I've always remembered it. I will have to actually message her. This did remind me, it just brought me straight back to when she told me. And I want to message her and say, Mum, do you remember telling me that? Because I don't even know if she remembers. But I hope she does, because it was such a big impact on the way that I went throughout my life. So if you don't know, because you can't tell, I am 4'10" and a half. Let's say 4'11", right? So is my mum. So obviously we're not very tall, right? So I don't know whether this has come from her past experiences. She's never told me that she's ever been attacked, or this is something that she was told and she passed it down to me. But I've lived in some very rough areas in London on my own. I've walked through some pretty grim places on my own. And touch wood, you know, if you want, I'm not in London anymore, but I have always got to my destination safely, even when I'm on my own. And I know that I have been one of these people who does walk with confidence. And I'll tell you something now as well, because it might be a bit weird to say it, but there may be other people like me. I know that if I was in that situation where somebody did come to attack me, I know what I'm capable of, if that makes sense. So I'm not that person who you would try and attack me and I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. Like, no. My thumbs are going in your eyes. Yeah, like I will do absolutely everything. Everything's being used. All 8 limbs. If you know Muay Thai, you know all 8 limbs are being used. Plus, I'm going to bite you too. It's as simple as I will use everything I possibly can to get myself out of that situation. And sometimes when your presence gives off that vibe without physically saying it or looking like it. I mean, look at me. You know, I've got a big old jumper on, so you can't really tell the size of me, but sometimes I do think that I have the ability to be able to say, fuck off, without saying it. And I just don't know if there's anybody here that has either been one of these people where you either, you know, walk very timidly, or you walk where you're always looking around and really unaware of things, or paranoid, or you are the latter person, or you have been told about this sort of thing. Because it's really interesting that they've done this study in New York with New York convicts, but just because they're in New York doesn't mean that any convict in Germany or, you know, England or any other country like Australia and Canada, it doesn't mean that they don't think of the same way, right? Because you get similarities in the way that people do things, like serial killers, for example. You know, they do the same things because why? It works. So why change something if it's not broken? So every one of these convicts, or somebody who has the ability to attack somebody in their mind, has this way of thinking. So it blew my mind, really, to hear that after all these years, like my mum telling me that, and then to hear this lady say it. Again, I'll link the entire video so that you can go over it yourself and share it to people if you need to share it. But I wanted to ask if you have been one of these people that have walked like that and have been attacked. And I know it's probably not something that you want to talk about, but I'm just doing this for research basis, like, you know, study, just like that. Like I love science and studying and learning and things like that, if you haven't already can't tell. So I like to build a community of real individuals with real comments, real life experiences, for me to learn about that and take the psychology of that and be like, wow, and then just learn. Like, I just absolutely love it. So I'd appreciate it if you did leave a comment, if this is something that speaks to you, or you have been one of those people, or you have been the latter. I'm just really interested to hear your thoughts upon this, really. So yeah, thanks.